What's up, my fellow nerds? Yes, today I've had some coffee. Some being a minor understatement. What is going on right now with Blizzard? They're at Gamescom and everything's going really well. They had their costume contest. They had some really cool contestants, really cool costumes. I wish I could see them all. I'm gonna dig further and try to find more pictures, but I'm gonna link in the description. You can see some of the winners and their big pile of goodies that they won. Some pretty cool costumes. I'd like to see more World of Warcraft costumes, but apparently the girl who dressed up as a barbarian won the contest. Barbarian from Diablo 3. So pretty sweet looking costume. I want to see some Tirinei costumes. Man, that'd be sweet. They haven't done their dance contest yet, but everything's going smoothly for them. They've got loads of people there and they're all playing games and having a blast. In my last video, I talked about the expansion, the pre-expansion patch coming out, 5.0, and I just mentioned Druid Guardians. I knew that it was a stupid idea to mention it without elaborating, because everyone's going to be like, what is that? I want to know more about Druid Guardians. New spec for druids? What? They have some of the more changes than other classes do. So I already had 12 minutes of material in my last video. Druid Guardians, pretty cool. It's basically a new spec for tanking. They separated it from feral DPS so that it's just its own thing. And there's a lot more healing involved. I know that recently they've added a lot of healing to druids. Their 4 set from Dragon Soul is to heal the whole raid, and it's amazing. I love it. Use it constantly. So they've added more healing abilities. You can kind of there's mobility things and healing things. I will highlight some of the ones that I was interested in and then link you to the website that I think describes the abilities really well and at least shows you a picture of the talents the way it is in beta right now. In the first tier, they give you 3 options to choose from, one of which is Feral Swiftness, which is already in the game right now. Your speed is increased by 10% in bear form and 20% in cat form. That's an ability that most druids are totally into, because when you're raiding, you want to be able to move quickly, especially when you're tanking and you need to move out of stuff because you're already taking damage from whatever you're fighting and you need to move closer to someone else. If your charge is down and you need to go and get aggro and your fairy fire's down, your taunt's down, weird situation. I know it doesn't happen, but it's nice to have that speed bonus. Displacer Beast is teleportability. The best way I know to describe that is it's a random blink that puts you in Prowl. So if you're like really in a bind and you have an off tank, hopefully, I'd call it out and maybe do it. I don't know. It's something to mess around with. I thought that one was kind of weird. I'm not really sure if that's one that's going to be highly desired or not. But it's interesting. I don't know about the whole random direction thing though too, because there's a lot of NPCs that see through stealth. So then there's Tireless Pursuit, which removes snares and roots and boosts your movement speed by 70%. Highly effective, especially when there's graphics on the ground and you're stuck. For me, it's going to be in between that and Feral Swiftness. Nature's Swiftness, which makes tons of abilities instant cast and castable in any form. That's like, yes! To be able to have that as bear and be able to battle res as bear. Do you know how many times we have that issue in our raids? We usually have a death knight, but if he died, then we're screwed without a res. So it's a lot easier. It's going to be a lot easier for Ed to res people, our druid tank. So I'm pretty excited about that one. kind of hope he specs that. They also have a protection, almost like a shield wall, where they can protect other players in the raid. You'll have the ability to spec into having Typhoon in bear form. So knockback and stun could be highly effective for some fights. That's at level 45. So we're kind of skipping along. I don't want to talk about all of them, otherwise it's going to be a 20-minute video. There's also a masked root. It's pretty cool. I think it's going to be a lot more effective in PvP than PvE though. The next tier is 60. The feral charge has been altered a bit, so look at that one closely. There's a few different alterations in the cat and bear form charge. The other ones in that tier are quite vague, so I'm not quite sure about that tier yet. Incarnation, which makes your abilities that normally would require stealth available to you. I don't know that that's going to be really effective in PvE because you're going to mostly be in bear form, I assume. But I also kind of feel like from some of these abilities, they might actually be wanting you to switch from bear and cat form more often than ever, really, right now. Maybe. At 75, they've got Demoralizing Roar, Ursul's Vortex, and Bear Hug. Demoralizing Roar is a good ability, and I think that's pretty much the same if I remember right. The Bear Hug one's kind of funny because it's a stun. I just like the name. It's really the main reason why I'm talking about it, because the name, Bear Hug. Let me hug you. Oh, you're screwed. Stand there for a minute while I beat you for 10% of my health. So, stam stacking. Will we be stam stacking? I wonder if this will be a desired thing for many druids. If you're going to use this ability, I think stam stacking might actually come back. Ursul's Vortex. It's basically an AoE death grip. The range is shorter than a Death Knight's death grip. You pull all enemies, no limit, within 15 yards to you in any form. That's awesome. That's an awesome druid tanking ability. So if you had charge and that, you're like Death Knight Warrior Druid. Sorta. Death Knight Druid. I don't know, like that's pretty desirable in my opinion. I like Death Grip. It's one of my favorite Death Knight abilities. And so I think that would be fun. That would be hilarious in PvP. Just make me giggle. In the last tier, there's a couple of talents that allow you to kind of reach out into other specs. It's a little bit vague the way it describes it, so I'm going to let you read it because I don't really know that I understand it fully. But it sounds interesting. Like, if you are a spellcaster, you will be able to use melee things, and as a melee druid, you can do more casty things. Then there's Disentanglement, which gets you out of roots and snares and heals you for 20% of your health. That's Guardian Druids in a nutshell. Super tanky, super healy, a lot more catty. Kitty. If you choose. I think a lot of that's probably geared towards PvP, but some of it might be usable in PvE as well. It's one of those things where once we get more experience in the new raid bosses, we'll probably go, oh, that's where they wanted us to use that talent. That's where that comes in handy. So it'll be fun to mesh the new talents in with the new raids and figure it all out. New and different stuff, yay! Speaking of the expansion, I totally took that week off of work. My inner nerd leveled up a lot when that happened. Also in the description, I'm gonna put a link to World of Warcraft YouTube channel cinematic trailer upload. It was shown at their booth at Gamescom, and I think that everyone should watch it if you haven't already. So for those of you that started playing WoW when there was an expansion with a new race, and you really wanted to play that race, you finally just gave in and bought it because you really wanted to play that race, and you didn't want to waste a bunch of time leveling a tune that wasn't the race you wanted to be. When patch 5.0 hits, anyone will be able to play any race, just not to whatever level cap that expansion calls for. So for example, if you just buy the basic game, you will be able to play a Panda, you will be able to play a Tirinei, but you will only be able to go up to the level cap of that particular part of the game. Some people are kind of pissed about this because they're like, well, I'm buying the game, like I'm paying for that race, I'm paying for that expansion. But honestly, it's whatever, you know. people that are going to play to level 60 or 80 or whatever other caps are probably going to want to buy the rest of the game anyway. So they're probably going to end up paying for it. Deal with it. Deal with it. Congratulations, WoWInterface.com. You guys are awesome. You've been with the MMO world for 10 years. It is their 10-year anniversary, and everyone should celebrate with them by going to their website. I will link in the description to do their surveys and questionnaires so that you can earn prizes. Some examples are WoW Collector's Edition of Cataclysm. They have 10 of those, 22 Corehound posters, and I think they said 80 headsets. Congratulations, you guys. You're awesome. You are a key part of the MMO world, and we love that you are available to us and all the add-ons and cool stuff that you give us. Of all things that I would want, I wouldn't mind winning the poster. I would really like to have the headset, actually, because, well, I guess I could show you guys. Okay. Oh, I think my level that I got from taking a week off for frickin' Mista Panderia just, like, went backwards times 10, because this is my headset. The little thingies are broken off, but I just love the design. It goes behind my neck, and it's super, super light. But also, the Corehound poster, it's the Corehound, whatever, it's kind of cool, but I need posters. I really, really need posters. My background is boring. Keep checking back to my channel, and like or dislike, just make sure you leave me a comment and tell me why, and I will see you guys next time. Later.